pair them. Okay. So the familiar blue dot product can be written in vector form as the product here. You take the vector AD as a row vector, and then we multiply by this identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1, and the vector CD as a column vector. Now, we'll take that matrix, so we'll multiply by anything that we change that. Things will be not necessary, but we also just take this as the product of the vector AD plus column vector CD, and remind you that the product is A times C plus B times D. But we put that matrix in there anyway, even though it's not really necessary, to distinguish it from the red and green situations, and also from the coffee situation. So the red dot product, so we have a little dot here with R now, so that's the red dot product. There's the blue dot product, there's the green dot product. So this one here, AC minus CD, is the product of AD times the matrix 1, 0, 0 minus 1 times CD. Check that, that works out. And the green one is AD plus BC, that's the product of AD times this matrix 0, 1, 1, 0 times CD. Notice that you can take this vector and multiply by 0, 1, 1, 0. The effect is just to interchange the order here. So this is just like GA times CD, GC plus AD, same thing. And the cross product, which is different from these dot products, but still sort of in the same ballpark, the cross product is the number AD minus BC. This is written in terms of AC this way, matrix 0, 1 minus 1, 0. Okay, so let's just check that. You can apply that. And these are four matrices that capture these various three dot products, and this is the product of cross product. And let's make a small observation. The three matrices here that represent the blue, red, and green matrices, they span the three-dimensional space of symmetric 2 by 2 matrices. They're all symmetric. You take transpose of matrices, you get matrix back. And then thinking about, say, that this entry and this entry are the same, 2 by 2 case. So this is a typical 2 by 2 symmetric matrix, and every such matrix is a unique linear combination of these three. So this one here would be a linear combination of D times this one, and I guess A plus C times this one, A plus C over 2 times this one, and A minus C over 2 times this one. On the other hand, the other matrix, the one that's mirrored in the cross product, 0, 1, minus 1, 0, that is a skew symmetric matrix. Has the property that we take its transpose, it gets negative over itself. And the space of skew symmetric 2 by 2 matrix uses multiples of this one. This is one-dimensional space, this is matrices like this. Zeros on the diagonal, and the entries here are negatives of each other. So the separation between our dot product and our cross product is reflected in the difference between symmetric matrices and skew symmetric matrices. Okay, so what do we do with these three interesting dot products? Well, the first thing that we do is define quadrants of the vectors. So the quadrants of a vector is just the vector dotted with itself. In the blue case, the quadrants of the vector AD is A squared plus B squared. In the red case, it's A squared minus B squared. And in the green case, it's AD plus AB, which is 2AB. So the red and the green quadrants replace the blue quadrant in the relativistic kind of setting. Now, we talked a lot about from the geometry and the geometry in 46 and 55, but it has been a little while, so I'm repeating something that will be familiar. In particular, I've already mentioned this simple relationship between these three quadrants, but it's worth repeating. That the blue quadrant squared is the red quadrant squared plus the green quadrant squared. So we have a Pythagorean relation between these three quadrants, again suggesting that there really is a kind of intimate connection between the three. Now, for those of you who might like to have a reminder of the various video series, I'm happy to inform you that we now have a new possible aid to going through our videos. I've made PDF screenshots available now at my website, cdwildegg.com. There you can actually find PDF screenshots of my various YouTube lectures, videos, so that you can quickly summarize and review earlier videos. So they're available there for very low price. Okay, so you can check out these earlier videos on geometry, which we are kind of reviewing, but looking at them from a vector or linear algebra point of view. So now we have the ingredients to talk about spreads in these three different geometries. Blue spread, red spread, green spread. The situation is we are in the plane, we have two vectors, V and U, and now we ask ourselves, well, how far apart are these? We measure apartness of vectors over lines by spreads. Not angles, right? No angles, that was 20th century for this stuff. Now we're more accurate, more algebraic, more general, more powerful. So we're thinking about a spread. But now we see that there are at least three different spreads that we can actually think about, corresponding to these three different types of geometry, three different, essentially, the dot products. Now the blue one, which is the most familiar one, is a model that we base the other one from. The blue spread between the vector V and U, here's our formula. 1 minus, and now this ratio, V dot U all squared, and the dot is, of course, the blue dot product, divided by the product of the quadrants of V and the quadrants of U. The quadrants that we just defined, which in this case are, of course, the blue quadrants. That's how we define the spread, the blue spread between V and U. This is a very fundamental formula, this formula of the spread, and once we happily memorize it, we can then just communicate in the red and green spreads. So the red spread is the same formula, just with the dot products replaced with red ones. Here there's a V dot U, but it's a red dot product squared, and here we have a red quadrant of V times a red quadrant of U. Otherwise, exactly the same. The green spread is exactly the same. 1 minus V dot U, where there's green dot product all squared, and then there's a green quadrant of V times the green quadrant of U. So the same formulas. That means the understanding, the laws that we're going to develop and have developed, they're going to apply in these red and the green situations almost without having to make much adjustment. That's stylistically important. That means we can do relativistic geometry pretty well in the same breath as we do standard Euclidean geometry. So massive unification of planar geometries. So hard to overestimate the importance of this point of view. Okay, three basic formulas, all pretty well the same for dividing spreads between two vectors. Blue spread, red spread, green spread. Okay, let's write down explicit formulas so we can see exactly what these spreads look like. Let's take the vectors V, CAD, and U, CCD. Okay, those are our two vectors. Then the blue spread between them, well, there's the expression that we've written down before. Those are the blue quadrants of the vectors. Then this dot product, well, here is just AC plus BD. So this is the expression for the spread between these two vectors. 1 minus AC plus DD all squared over A plus B squared times C squared plus D squared. And correspondingly, the red spread, a very similar formula, with the difference that here is AC minus BD, the red dot product squared, and here we have the red quadrants. Okay, the green situation, same kind of thing, except now we have the green dot product, AD plus DC, all squared in the numerator there, and on the bottom here we have the product of the two quantities. The green quantity for this vector is 2AD. The green quantity for this one is 2CD, and so the product is 4ADCD. Now when we say these things, I mean, it's interesting because we said that this is a Euclidean situation, that these are relativistic, but you can see that there's some kind of brother-sister relationship between the blue and the red ones. They are pretty closely related. They look almost the same, just about a plus sign turning into a minus sign. The green one, however, looks quite a little bit different because, well, first of all, that's a little bit different, but the denominator especially are quite different. In some ways, the green one is similar to these ones. You have to calculate this for a lot of vectors. You know very well refers to work with this one rather than these ones. That's a curious kind of phenomenon that occurs in critical geometry, that even though the red and green are mostly relativistic geometry, so quite a lot different geometrically from the blue one, then the green one is often easier to compute with. That's actually can be a pleasant thing that once you actually support, because calculations in the green geometry are a lot simpler than they are in the blue or in the red situation. But anyway, we didn't have this other formula for the blue spread. In fact, we did. That was the whole point. The second thing was determinants. So remember that in the blue case, we have one familiar two vectors here. This spread formula has this alternate formulation. This is a different expression from this one, but algebraically equivalent to it. This expression has the AD minus BC term in the numerator squared, and still the product of the quantities in the denominator. So here, this is the cross product expression. That's not one of the three binary forms. It's the cross product that represents, as you see, the area or the side area of the parallelogram spanned by V and U. So this expression relates the blue spread directly to the normalized squared area of this associated parallelogram. That's what we saw in our last video. Very powerful understanding. That's an interpretation of what the spread is. It's basically area squared, which is normalized to taking account of the fact that it shouldn't really depend on the sizes of the vector, just their directions. So natural question. What about the red and green spreads? Do they also have some kind of reformulation like this one? Well, so of course the answer is yes, there are equivalent formulations, and here they are. And I'm going to leave the derivation of them, or maybe let's say the verification of them, to you as an exercise, some basic algebra. So the story again that we have vector V, which is AD, and U, which is CD, and here is the expression for the red spread. Here's the familiar one that we started with, the definition, and now here is this alternate formulation of it. Okay, which looks a lot like the reformulation of the blue one. We have an AD minus BC, the same determinant aspect, cross product in the numerator as we did in the blue situation, still squared, and still the product of quantities down there. But also in addition, we have this negative sign. What happens in the green situation? Well, there's the definition of our green spread, and then I'm claiming that this thing actually algebraically turns out to be this thing. So again, it's a very similar kind of story. We have AD minus BC squared up on top, and somewhat familiar for ABCD, the product of the quantities in the denominator. But again, it's also a minus sign. So the fact that these two things are equal is another identity. Very similar in the same kind of direction as the identity due to Fibonacci or Diophontus, and how far back you go, that was responsible for things in the blue situation. But now there's sort of a red version of that identity, and it's going to be a green version of the identity. Just the fact that this equals this, it amounts to a certain algebraic identity, and it's useful to work out. Just check that actually working. So it's very pleasant. We have the determinants with our sign areas appearing here just as we did in the blue situation. So these are still basically normalized squared sign areas, with the small proviso that there's a little bit of something else happening because of those minus signs that are appearing for some reason or another. Okay, so but let me remind you that although these formulas are a little bit different from the blue formula, after the minus sign, the actual definitions of the spreads are exactly parallel without any modification whatsoever. Okay, so I'll be checking the listing of these expressions, and in our next video, we're going to have a look at the geometrical meaning of these things. What does it mean, considering red spread between two vectors or a green spread? What's the relationship between these spreads? And we want to then move to an even broader understanding where we will even transcend this free-form case and look at the general situation, which maybe will explain or shed some light on where those minus signs are coming from. So we'll join for that. I'm Robert Wahlberger. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Robert Wahlberger. In today's video, we are going to solidify our understanding of the spread between two vectors. We have seen that this is intimately connected with the notion of determinant, which expresses the area of the parallelogram. Today, we want to connect this with linear algebra and move towards understanding this beautiful three-fold symmetry called chromogeometry, which lies at the heart of planar geometry. Okay, so here's what we have discovered so far. That if we have a vector V, which is AD, and a vector W, which is CD, then the spread between them, this S here, can be expressed with this formula here. It's AD minus BC all squared over the product A squared plus B squared times C squared plus D squared. What's in the numerator here, AD minus BC, is just the area of this parallelogram, actually the sign area of this parallelogram. And introducing the idea of a cross product in the planar situation, we say that this number can be regarded as the cross product between V and W. That's a very useful kind of thing. That's a little bit different from the three-dimensional cross product. It's a number that is associated to two vectors, which just tells you what's the area of the parallelogram that they span. Now, the fact that this is a sign area doesn't really figure because we end up squaring it, so we end up with something positive in the numerator anyway. And the quantities here are in the denominator, so it's kind of a normalization. But geometrically, what we're doing is we're taking these two vectors and we're looking at this parallelogram, taking the square of its area, and we're dividing that by the product of this square area and this square area. Okay? So it's really a normalization of a squared area. In fact, it's geometrically perhaps the simplest kind of number that you can associate to two vectors, which ends up not really depending on the scaling factors. If you scale the vectors V and W, then this quantity does not change. The quantity, of course, is a fundamental concept in rational trigonometry. And we can also interpret it here as also a cross product between vector v and what we might call v super e, which is a rotation of the vector. So it means a v, and v is minus va, and that's a rotation by a quarter of a turn. So typically this is speed, and I'll be included with the illustration here. And I'm drawing the square on this side, but it's probably actually a little more honest if I drew it like this, that would overlap the current diagram. So the W, same story, the W is there, the WD would be this vector here, so we can talk about the area spanned by this W and its blue rotation. So very nice formula, and we want to look more carefully now at the nature of this expression, and also we move to the red and green versions of it. So it's a very big step in 21st century mathematics. So from consider angles, we'll consider frequency, absolutely very crucial. And let's have a look at how this spread is such a rich concept by seeing algebraic effects full of life. So here's a quantity that we talked about, that was just defined, and here is a very important fact about it that we've seen before. It's not worth repeating. That it can be rewritten as 1 minus the fraction ac plus bd squared over a squared plus b squared times c squared plus d squared. Now what's appearing in the numerator here is also a kind of product of the vectors, but it's different from this cross product. This is called the dot product between two vectors. So here it is right here. V dot w, so the dot product between vector ab and vector cd is a quantity ac plus bd, the product of the two first entries plus the product of the two second entries. So it's a very, very important role in linear algebra because it naturally generalizes so plentifully to higher dimensions. Now this identity here is a consequence of what we call Fibonacci identity, which is this relation here. So if you take the common denominator here, it's equivalent to a squared plus b squared times c squared plus d squared equals, well, if you put this on the other side, ac plus dt squared plus ab minus bc all squared. So it's been a while since you verified this identity. Please write out both sides to make sure that you believe that it's really true. And this is really the reason why this identity is valid. And it's really interesting because both of these are important formulas. So one wants to understand both of these expressions for the spread and how they reflect different properties of the spread. Here we have an area squared. Here we have a dot product. There's a 1 minus this quantity here. Okay, so here's a few exercises for you. This first one is that showing that Fibonacci identity on the previous page is equivalent to this alternate version. So it's quite like the previous one, except that now ac minus dt squared here and ab plus bc squared there. So the signs have both changed signs. And so that this identity is actually equivalent to the quadrant's identity for complex numbers. So as an example, W are complex numbers, then this is really the statement that the quadrant of Z times the quadrant of W gives the quadrant of Z times W. And I remind you that the quadrant of a complex number a plus 5b is the number a squared plus b squared. This is probably the most important identity in complex number theory, and it's really equivalent to this form of Fibonacci identity. So make sure that you understand the form here. You have to remind yourself what complex number multiplication is there. Okay, so we're reviewing a few things that perhaps we've already touched upon in this course, but it has been a while since we've been doing rational trigonometry, so it's great for us to review and get back up to speed because we are going to be doing a lot more very, very interesting rational trigonometry in the months ahead. Opening up all kinds of new business, very exciting stuff, and lots of opportunity, as we look for, people to make interesting contributions and discoveries yourself. Alright, so rational trigonometry is an early theory. It hasn't been around for very long. A lot of mathematicians still don't know about it, so it's a great opportunity to get on top of things and forge ahead in a brand new interesting direction. Now let's have a closer look at this dot product that we just introduced. So this is another way of combining two vectors and getting a number. And we call it the blue dot product because it's going to be just one of 3 dot products that are shortly going to figure in sort of a wonderful trilogy. Let's look at the dot product that I was learning about. Here it is again. Here's the dot product of two vectors, so AC plus BC. And by the way, if you want to review these things, you can have a look at Bob Case if you want. Okay, so there's various properties of this dot product which are important to identify. Firstly, we want to remind ourselves or observe that the dot product is linear. And what does that mean? Well, it means if you take a v dot the sum of W1 plus W2, here are two vectors being added, take the dot product between v and the sum, then you get the sum of the dot product v dot W1 and v dot W2. And we also have this on the other side, so we take the v1 plus v2 dot W, then we get v1 dot W plus v2 dot W. And also there's a linearity with respect to scale and multiplication. As we multiply v by some number lambda, take the dot product, that's the same as taking lambda times the dot product v W, and that's also the same as v dot lambda W. So that scalar can be moved around from being in front of W, being in front of v, being in front of the dot product itself. And then 3 other important aspects of the dot product. First of all, that the quadrant of the vector gives us v dot e. Okay, this is absolutely fundamental step. The crucial metrical quantity can be expressed as the dot product of a vector by itself. Mathematics is understood as a quadratic form. Another important property of the dot product is that it's symmetric, that v dot W equals W dot V. If you change the order, the dot product does not change. And even more subtle, this property of connection with perpendicularity, that two vectors are perpendicular precisely when their dot product is 0. So this is another important use of the dot product, is that it allows us to identify when two vectors are perpendicular algebraically. We just type the dot product is 0, they're perpendicular, and if it's not 0, then they're not perpendicular. So we talk about this perpendicular property of the dot product. And students who take trigonometry are often taught that perpendicularity is defined in terms of the dot product. Now we just define perpendicularity by the dot product is 0, but that's not really the whole story. So we can legitimately ask, why is it that we define perpendicularity in the dot product? Or in other words, why are these two things really equivalent? And the key is to understand that perpendicularity is a classical concept that really goes back to Pythagoras. It's Pythagoras' theorem that controls perpendicularity, or allows us to identify perpendicularity. Goes all the way back to Pythagoras. Okay, so here is a picture of the vector B. Here's the vector W. And let's consider a triangle because Pythagoras' theorem relates to a triangle. So let's consider this vector that's emanating from here to here. Now in vector language, if this is V and that's W, then this vector here is W minus V. Because it has a property that equals V, and we add W minus V. That combination here's the statement involved with Pythagoras theorem. That QV plus QW equals QW minus V. And let's just look at this statement and rewrite it using what we know about products. So this statement is equivalent to the following thing. We've just rewritten the statement here. We replace Q of V with V dot V, replace QW with W dot W, and replace QW minus V with W minus V dot W minus V. Okay, so now we have to expand this. How do we expand this? Well, we can use the linear property of the dot product, allowing us to basically use the distributive law. This is really W dot W minus W dot V minus V dot W plus V dot V. There's four terms. If you write out those four terms, you'll see that two of them cancel with the things on the left-hand side. The V dot V, which is dot product of those, and the W dot W, product of those two, they cancel. So this equation here, the second one, is equivalent to this third equation, which says that 0 equals minus W dot V, that's product of those two, minus V dot W, which is the product of those two. Now, by the symmetry property, this and this are equal. So this is the same as minus 2 times V dot W. And if minus 2 times V dot W equals 0, that means that V dot W equals 0. So these statements are all equivalent just by using the linear properties and the symmetric property of the dot product. That's telling us that this Pythagoras kind of relation is equivalent to the dot product being 0. Okay, so it's not really that we define perpendicularity to be this exactly. What we're really doing is we're noting that this property is equivalent to Pythagoras theorem being 0. And it's that allows us to justify us to say, well, that's the same as saying that the two vectors are perpendicular. So this is a important point that often is skipped or not seen when you're out classes. Okay, there's really Pythagoras theorem floating around here when we're talking about the connection between the dot product of two vectors and perpendicularity. And I might point out that in this argument we are not really relying on a particular form of the dot product that we have. We're not relying on the fact that we have a blue dot product here. We're just relying on the linear and symmetric properties of the dot product. So the argument will also hold more generally. Will hold for other dot products as well. That will be an important part of the story. Okay, so chromogeometry comes about when exactly we look at some alternate dot products. So we replace the familiar blue dot product, AC plus BD, with, say, the red dot product, which is AC minus BD. This is a new way of taking two vectors and outputting a number. AB dot CD is AC minus BD. We use that definition of a dot product. We get a new kind of geometry, which we can call red geometry. It's not basic geometry, it's the same red geometry that we already studied earlier in the series. And if we change it again by replacing this here with AD plus BC, then we get what we call the green geometry. So each of these geometries can be thought of in terms of being determined by a dot product, by a way of combining two vectors to get a number. This is by far the more familiar one, so I've read it, but if you get your head around it, there's something equivalent about these various things. It's just one possible choice. And algebraically, there's not that much difference between this one and this one and this one. Although the properties are still going to be satisfied. There's still going to be rich geometry. The red geometry is every bit as rich as the blue geometry. In fact, the higher dimensions are arguably a little bit richer. And typically, relativity geometry is just as important as Euclidean geometry. And arguably, the higher dimensions, it becomes even more important. That's the point of Einstein's special theory of relativity. Okay, so there's a lot of reason to be a little bit wider in our understanding of geometry. In this planar situation, is a good place to start. And I also want to compare, up in the same page, this other product that we have. The cross product, which I remind you is AD cross BD, is AD minus BC. This is looking a lot like these ones, but it's fundamentally different from these three. So you should think of these three as being in one box, and this is being in another box. This one is different because it's not symmetric. If you need to change the order of the vector there, this thing changes by a minus sign, so it does not have the symmetry property. I remind you that the symmetry property is just what we used in that previous correspondence with Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so that argument is not going to work for this one. So we do not call this a dot product, we call this the cross product. We have three dot products, and we have one cross product, and somehow these four things fit together in their useful way. But what's really important is the threefold symmetry represented by these three. This is a phenomenon of chromogeometry that's really only been around for less than 10 years. My discovery, and it's one of the most some things that I've been lucky enough to discover. It's so rich that it's really interesting, different from geometry that's come before. Okay, so in our next video we want to take the concept of spread, this algebraic, linear algebraic, point of view to connection with determinants that we've been talking about, and we want to transfer that understanding from the blue geometry to also the red green geometries. That'll be very interesting. I hope to join you for that. I'm no longer. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Owen Walker. In today's video, we want to connect the notion of spread with the idea of a determinant. So we want to apply determinants to rational trigonometry to explain the replacement of an angle. The algebraic replacement of an angle is called spread, which is absolutely crucial for rational trigonometry. Let me remind you what that is. So here we have two lines, this one here and this one here, and the spread between those two lines is known as S. In terms of this right triangle here, with quadrants as P, Q, and R, the spread S divided as Q over R. The ratio is opposite quadrants to the hypotenuse quadrants. So that ratio is the spread. Now we also have seen that there's an alternate formula for it in terms of the equations of the lines. So for the ordinary xy axes, and here's the line L1 and here's the line L2. And suppose that L1 has the equation a1x plus b1y plus c1 equals 0, and L2 has the corresponding equation a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals 0. In that case, the spread between the two lines is this particular relation. a1 b2 minus a2 b1 squared all over the product of a1 squared plus b1 squared plus a2 squared plus b2 squared. And again, we see that it's algebraic. So these things are rational numbers. We do not have to go outside our number system that we're using to describe points of lines in order to measure the separation between points of lines. That's a very novel idea if you're not familiar with rational trigonometry, but it's really at the heart of why this is such a powerful general notion. Because it applies no matter what kind of field or some different kind of field, you can still establish general formulas. Now today we want to concentrate on a third understanding of the spread, which is a vector interpretation. So Here's the explanation. There's the vector v, which is AB. There's the vector w, which is CG. We move the vectors so that they're emanating from the origin. Now let's consider the lines that are passing through those vectors and the origin. In other words, the lines that are emanating from the origin in the direction of those two vectors. So these lines are going to have the following equations. So the line that's in this direction, the AB direction, will have equation minus bx plus ay equals 0. Let's check why that is. First of all, this is a line that passes through the origin. It has no constant term. So if you plug the 0, 0 in here, then it's satisfied. And we can also see that if you plug in AB for x and y, then you get minus ba plus ab, which is indeed 0. So this point here, from AB, also lies on the line. And so this is the line that's in this direction. Similarly, the line through the origin in the w direction has equation minus dx plus cy equals 0. Okay, so now we know what the spread between these two lines is because we can apply the equation that we know for the spread between the two lines. What do we do? Well, we take this thing here times this thing here, and we subtract the product of this times this, and we square all of that. And then we divide by this coefficient squared plus this coefficient squared times this coefficient squared plus this coefficient squared. And since just unravel this here, inside we have a plus AD minus BC, so all of that AD minus BC squared in the numerator, and then the denominator becomes A squared plus B squared, C squared plus D squared. So this is indeed the correct formula for the spread created by two vectors. It's a beautiful formula. That's very important. Very important formula. That's showing us just why the spread is such an obviously important thing. You can see that it's important because it's a determinant which is normalized by these two quantities. Rational trigonometry provides us with a precise way of making measurements in two-dimensional space, and then ultimately in high-dimensional space as well. So it's a big difference between calculating things exactly and precisely, which this system does, and the classical system that currently uses is basically an approximate system that relies on approximations involving calculators. Okay, so I want to impress upon you the superiority of thinking in terms of rational trigonometry by looking at an example. Okay, so here's an example given by a triangle OAB. O is the origin, A is the point 42, B is the point minus 1, 3. And we're interested in studying that triangle. In particular, we're interested in the spreads S, R, and T as three vertices. Okay, so to apply the vector form of the spread, which we'll talk about in a practice set, let's first determine the vector. So the vector OA is 4, 2, the vector OB is minus 1, 3, and the vector AB, so different components, we take minus 1, minus 1, minus 5, and 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay, we have three vectors. So what about this spread S? How do we calculate that? Well, we look at the two vectors, here and here, these are these two vectors, and we apply the formula that we just learned. The determinant here is 4 times 3 minus 2 times minus 1, so 12 minus 2, and we have to square that. Divided by 4 squared plus 2 squared, plus minus 1 squared plus 3 squared. Take a check, that's 49 over 50. That's pretty close to being 1. We've seen 49, 50 before. That's close to being 1, and that's almost a right angle, almost perpendicular side there, but not quite. How about the spread here, T? Well, in this case, the vectors are this one here and this one here. Okay, so we're going to use the OB vector and the AB vector. Now, it turns out it doesn't matter whether you use AB or minus AB, because if you scale any one of these vectors by any multiple, as long as it's not 0, then the spread is not going to change. Okay, so we're going to take these two vectors and we're going to compute. So we have this product here minus this product here. In fact, actually, if you were emanating from 0, you have to take the negatives of both these vectors, but it doesn't matter. So this times this minus this times this, I guess we're going to be here, although perhaps minus 1 plus 15 would be better. Let me actually change that. Minus 1 plus 15 is the same answer, all of that squared. And divided by the sum of the squares here and the product of the sum of the squares there. So we get a 14 squared divided by 10 times 26, and that turns out to be 49 over 65. Well, that is the spread T there. And finally, the spread R, which is over here, well, that involves the vectors OA and AB, so the first vector and the third vector. In fact, if we're at this point here, then we would use the negative of this one and this one here. All right, then we would get minus 4 times 1, minus 2 times, well, actually minus 2 times minus 5, so we would get minus 4